Hey, I'm Andrew, and this is Marissa, and welcome to the Dugout Podcast. No, tonight we don't have a leaderboard segment, as I
Oh my
successfully
gosh.
won that
That's how
last
you want
week.
to start?
Yep, you could ever bet. I successfully won the first leaderboard, Dugout leaderboard. So we don't have a segment of that tonight, but what we will get into tonight is a review of the Champions League final. Then we have a special segment where myself and Marissa have selected our teams of the year. We've also had some award categories like Manager of the Season, Player of the Year, for example. And then we're going to touch on a bit of cricket since the World Test Championship final recently concluded. So thank you for joining us, and I'm going to let Marissa take it away. On Saturday, we had the Champions League final, Man City versus Inter Milan. Penny, for your thoughts.
This was a tough watch.
What?
I had.
Oh, okay. I know where you're going. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Right.
had some. What's the psychological term? Cognitive dissonance. Is that the word?
I have
I'm
no
not
idea.
sure.
I have no idea.
But on the one hand, did I want Lukaku to win the Champions League? On the other hand, did I want City to win the Champions League? But I think I decided pretty pretty early on that I wanted Inter to win, regardless of my feelings. They gave a good show of themselves, I must say. I thought they had some very good opportunities. Unfortunately, some people, i.e. Lukaku, could not take those opportunities and could not get out of the way when other team members wanted to take those opportunities. But City, it was a real final. And by that, I mean, you're used to seeing City dominate, be comfortable, be positive, but I felt they were a little rattled. They really had a fight for that. And it's not usual to have to see City fight to win games. But Inter should have at least taken one of those opportunities. And when you look at it on the balance of play, I felt Inter had the better opportunities when you think about it. But yeah, City won their first Champions League, won the treble. Congrats to them. Yeah.
Do you really mean that congratulations, though?
As a budding pundit, you have to be gracious and you have to be professional. So yes, congrats to them. Me personally didn't leave my stream on long enough to watch the trophy lift or any of that mess, but congrats to them. It's been a truly historic season.
Fair enough.
But I only watched the second half of the game though. I was traveling for the first half. Right. So I got home in time to watch the second half. And I must say, even though I say it was a tough watch because of my cognitive dissonance, but I enjoyed the second half, to be honest. It was exactly the type of game you wanted. Remember last week you were talking about you didn't want to see like a 3-4-0 City. I like the competitiveness of it. So I enjoyed the game.
Okay. Cool. My thoughts on the game. Well, let me first start with congratulations, right? Congrats.
Do you mean that?
Of course I mean that. I'm not like you. Because, right, we have something in common. I was also rooting for Inter to win, in a sense. At least during the game. I didn't think I would have before the game began. But once, I started to root for Inter. But that's because, I like to root for the underdog. You know what I mean? And I was rooting for the underdog in that scenario, which was Inter Milan, the team that was unfancied for, the most part. But yes, like I felt in the first half, City were a bit nervous. They looked a bit tentative, but I put that down to the occasion. Like I said last week, the only way that I thought City might lose was if they are allow themselves to be engulfed by the expectation, right? And that definitely showed on some of the players in the first half for sure. But Inter played the game that I expected them to play. They approached the game with the tactics that I expected, which was try to defend, stoutly, and then try to use the overlapping runs of your full backs, and try to use the direct approach to get the ball to the field quickly. And when you can, try to play into midfield and lose the ball. They did that. They fashioned some good chances. Unfortunately for Inter, though, they weren't clinical enough to take those chances. But I never felt as though it was a case where City didn't play the game that they wanted to play. Because they felt like City pretty much, were doing what they wanted to do. It was just a matter of can they, find the composure to execute well enough to get the breakthrough. And eventually they come for the more or less. But like you said, it wasn't City's best game. But as Jose once said, a final is not to play a final to win. And
True.
that was the main thing. Get your job done. Leave for the trophy. We must talk, or at least one warning on that Lukaku miss.
Which one?
Well, okay. What do you mean which one? Because he inadvertently blocked the shot from DeMarco.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, inadvertently, I'm not going to blame him for that.
Mm-hmm.
The chance that he did miss was the header. And for the life of me, I don't know. You know what? They often say the hardest thing to do in football is to score a goal. And clearly Lukaku wanted to remind us of that. Because, I mean, he had so much space to aim at. It wasn't a particularly fast or hard cross. He had a lot of time to decide where he wants to put the header. And I don't know.
But there was not a similar one, where he was kind of not through on goal, but someone played him in, and I think he basically had a free shot at goal, and he hit it straight at Edison too, and he could have placed that ball either side. That was a tougher chance, but for a man that get in the media last year and talk about he in the same category as your Lewandowski's and your Ronaldo's and your Messi's, one of their chances got going though. I just
well, I did not hear those comments at the time.
Yeah.
But I think I remember the chance you're talking about. Where he shot on his right foot.
Yeah.
No, for a good striker, there's a chance. For Lukaku, it's not.
Oh, gosh.
No, let's be real. Lukaku is not a prolific dribbler of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Or so it's going to be difficult for him to maneuver the ball in a skillful way, to get the star shot that he really wants to, get. So he had to shoot the ball on the right foot because the defender was only giving him that opportunity. Because obviously we all know Lukaku wants to come back on the left foot, ideally, and shoot. So for a time, I wasn't surprised. I mean, he might have gotten unlucky and right foot in the top corner, maybe. But I wasn't surprised that it was such a tame effort. I know for a fact he ain't had the skill to come back in on our left foot and shoot the ball. He wants to shoot it.
Oh gosh.
I tell lies?
No.
Okay. Well, once we agree.
But that header though, I don't.
Because I watch it in the living room, right, Marissa, and when the ball was in the air before he connected with it, I was like, goal. I jump up like goal. I'm like, ain't I got goal in them? And I raised him up, but the ball pun Edison knee. And it's so unlucky that the ball ricochet and hit Ruben Diaz and went up for corner instead of hit him and the flat in the net. So I don't know.
Well, let me just chalk it up to the fact that it was just City's time. Let me just say that.
Yeah, eventually, more or less, he would have won. Would have won a Champions League for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I felt City readjusted in the second half, so Inter didn't look as dangerous anymore because in the first half, Inter were really switching the ball effectively from the left side to the right side and getting opportunities to cross the ball early into the box. It felt like City kept their shit better in the second half. And then once City scored the goal, through Rodri.
Very good goal.
Yeah, very good goal. It gave us some entertainment because then it meant that, Inter had to come out and chase it. So it was kind of like an end game for the last 20 or so minutes. Yeah. Which we enjoyed. So it was a good final. I enjoyed the game. I would have liked more of it. So that's why I a bit put off by the fact that Lukaku couldn't take a chance. Because I felt, I felt if Inter was to win the game, I felt it would have been on penalties. To be honest. And I don't know if City would have reacted had Lukaku had scored the equalizer and taken it extra time.
That's a good point. I mean, it had tons of quality on the bench, but that's a good point. That's a good point.
We must give a mention to Foden, though. Foden really come on and play well in
he did.
The first half.
When De Bruyne went off, yeah. Stones was excellent as well.
Yeah, Stones look good. Some boy told me that
he's becoming the player that he was hyped up to be when he was at Everton, I feel. He's now becoming that player for me.
But someone told me that Pep, without a shadow of a doubt, has to be the best manager in world football or best coach. Because he got John Stones like a center defensive midfielder. And he does. He doesn't look out of place. You know, so that's the biggest compliment you can give him.
Sure.
And so, yeah, City, treble winners, deserve it. I'm sure Man U fans are upset about that. But nevertheless. So, question though. Now that City have, you know, got out the starting block and finally got a Champions League in the cabinet, do you think that this could start like a similar situation to Real Madrid where we see City under Pep Guardiola?
Gosh, I hope not.
Winning all the time.
I hope not. I'm sorry, I hope not.
Well, neither me or you gonna be Champions League next year to stop them. So because we just gotta watch out as bystanders, you know.
Don't remind me.
As onlookers, and you know, hope that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's possible though.
Well, Real Madrid seem to be building a nice little group of players there again. Seem ready to transition to the next generation. So you know, I will not write off Real Madrid quite yet. I mean, this is their Champions League. This is their competition, like how Europa League is Sevilla competition. So, you know, yeah, it's always good to get the Mickey off your back to get your first one, but I don't think City are going to. In fact, let me not say so.
That's the thing, because when I look around Europe, Bayern has their issues. I don't want that at least. Bayern has their issues. Real Madrid is still going to be a good team. Still going to be a contender. But it's stuff that they'll have to figure out. You know, because of new personnel and key players that would have moved on. Barca, you know, I don't know. I know what to make of them. They have good players, yes. So they'll be a threat, I suppose. But at the same time, you know, Xavi's manager experience, a lot of different things can happen with Barca. That's more could, I know, unknown quantity in a sense. In terms of, I think we won't know how they will get on until the season gets on. We'll get a look at them. The other teams that coming out at the Premier League, for example, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man United, I don't think anybody expects any of those three to challenge. Not saying it can't happen, but they're not going to start competition as among the favourites.
Well, the Arsenal fans seem to think that their side will have done quite well in Champions League this season.
Nevertheless, we all make mistakes. But and when you look around the other, you know, leagues in terms of teams that would have qualified. So, like, if you're picking who we think would be the contender for Champions League next year, automatically it would be City and Real Madrid based on who's left there. Guess we'll have to see what Inter does in the transfer window. They might be back amongst it as well. Who knows? But the point I'm making is that it's very, very likely, a very strong possibility that City could go deep again.
As I said, I really hope not, but it's a possibility that you say. It is a possibility. It's a possibility.
All right, so
moving on to more fun things.
Yeah, okay, so that's it for the final.
Yes.
So moving on to another segment of our show, we are now going to look at our teams of the year. This is strictly Premier League. Right, so ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Or you want me to go first? Don't mind, though.
No, I don't mind going first.
Okay, go ahead.
So in goal I have Alisson. Right back Trippier. Left back Luke Shaw. My centre backs Ruben Diaz and Lisandro Martinez. Yeah. I gotta explain my choices. Central CDM, Rodri and Rice. Central attacking midfield, Kevin De Bruyne. Left wing, Saka. Right wing, Salah. And striker, of course, Haaland. My bench, because I decided to choose a bench because I had a lot of honorable mentions.
Right.
So my bench would have been De Gea, Alexander-Arnold, Stones, Casido, Gundogan, Odegaard, Kane, Tony, and Martinelli.
Okay.
So some positions were easy to fill. Central defensive midfielder was easy for me to fill. I think Rodri and Rice are the real standouts there this season. You did mention that Stones has looked really good in that position when he's played, and he has. But I still think Rodri and Rice stand up for me there. Central attacking midfield, of course, De Bruyne, easy pick. Haaland, striker, easy pick. Left wing, Saka, easy pick. Trippier at right back, I felt, to me, the way he's played, attacking, defensive wise, like ignoring the own goal at Chelsea in last season. But going forward, defending, free kicks, leadership of Newcastle, I think he's been very good at right back. And Luke Shaw, to me, has been one of Manchester United's best players this season. I went for Martinez because choosing Diaz was easy. Choosing the second centre back was a little difficult because you had so many people you could choose. You could have even put Stones there. I think Akanji has done well as well. Saliba has done well. Thiago Silva has played well in a not great Chelsea team. But I just think Martinez he had a little shaky start in that first game he played. I think it was Brentford. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Brentford.
Right. But I think, for all the criticism of his height from certain people in the public and stuff like that, I think he's done really well. I think him in partnership with Varane have been very good this season for Manchester United. I know De Gea has kept a lot of clean sheets, but I think De Gea's clean sheets have mostly been down to Manchester United's defense, specifically when Martinez and Varane have been fit and played together, which is why I went for Alisson.
Mm-hmm.
Alisson in goal for me was almost a no-brainer. He was my gut pick, and then I went and look at the stats and I realized when you look at it overall, his save percentage is very high. He saved a lot. He was probably Liverpool's best player this season.
No problem.
Kept y'all, yeah,
Definitely.
Y'all had y'all player of the season awards, and he was giving it. Okay, he was, and he made that mistake against Real Madrid.
Right.
I think he made another one too. But honestly, Alisson has been brilliant this season, and I think if Liverpool had a better season, he would have been in for a greater shot for the best goalkeeper in the Prem. So I just went based on my gut, based on the eye test. I genuinely felt that he was probably the best. I went for Salah because I was looking at a genuine winger in that position. And I think Salah has not had a Salah-like season, but anything good that Liverpool did came from Salah. I know he missed that penalty against Arsenal, which was probably critical in the end. Could have gotten y'all 3 points, could have gotten y'all in top 4. But I think Salah has had a decent enough season that I don't see many wingers in the Prem better than him. I'm sure when I hear your team, maybe I might have something else to say. But yeah, that's my team. And then when I look at the subs, these are people that could have easily made the main 11. Ivan Toney has had a great season for Brentford, not discussing his off-field issues, but on the field he's been great. Harry Kane, overshadowed by Haaland, 30 goals in a very poor Tottenham team. Very good season. Casido, very good midfielder. Gundogan has been brilliant. Interested to see if he will sign a new deal at City or leave. That'd be interesting. And of course, David De Gea. Yeah, I think he won the Golden Glove, right?
He did.
So yeah, the only reason I know it's controversial to have the Golden Glove winner on the bench and somebody who didn't keep as many clean sheets in the 11, but I just felt Alisson has had a very good season, and I think, as I said, David De Gea's clean sheets for me have been mostly down to what's in front of him, because I think David De Gea has made a lot of mistakes this season as well. So yeah, that's my team.
Okay, one more to mine, or you want me?
I want to hear your opinion, because I'm sure I have some stuff in here that you might not necessarily agree with. So
definitely, I don't have any issue with Trippier at right back. You said your center backs were
Diaz and Martinez.
I would have gone for Martinez, but I'm not going to argue that. He had a pretty solid first season in Prem. Performed admirably for the most part until the injury. So, yeah. Shaw, I agree with you. Shaw was one of Man United's best players throughout the season. So I feel as though he's warranted. Alisson as goalkeeper, he came across on mine just because I've seen Liverpool play and I know he had an outstanding season in terms of performance. But because Liverpool really didn't do as well as expected, I didn't include him for that reason, right? But so I decided I'll go with, because I had some other good performances from the goalkeeping department. So I went with some other names when I go through my team. In your central defensive midfield positions, you had Rodri and Rice. No arguments there. Right side, you said you had Salah again. His numbers were decent, not like usual Salah. Can't remember what I'm gonna say, but his numbers were decent. Not the usual, his usual prolific stuff in front of goal, but still a good return, I guess. But again, because the team didn't perform as expected, and he at times didn't perform as expected, they didn't put him in. On your left hand side, you had
Saka.
Yeah, he was in mine as well. You had Kevin De Bruyne as attacking mid, and you had Haaland up front. Okay, cool. I'll come back to these subs later. All right, so I'll go through my team now.
All right,
and I will. All right, so right back. Well, let me start keeper first. I had Ederson. I think he's been pretty solid. Obviously, he wouldn't have been called upon as much as other goalkeepers, but I think because of the way City plays, he's so instrumental that I just, for the most part, I think he's kind of like, closely total package you want in a goalkeeper as well. So, I meant for him. Although I do believe I would argue that Alisson is a better shot stopper than he is. Maybe better at one-on-one situations, but definitely like things like distribution. And it's not Ederson, because Ederson doesn't really make a lot of mistakes either. So I went with him. In the right back slot, I had Ben White, who was not a right back, but I think he did quite well in that position for the most part of the season. Where you almost forget that it was a centre back playing right back. So I went with him. And because Arsenal did so well, centre back, I had Saliba, who made a huge difference to Arsenal's defensive stability this season. So that's where he got a nod from me. I also have Ruben Diaz in the team. I had Estupiñán from Brighton, who I felt, made a seamless transition into the first choice left back spot at Brighton after Cucurella was sold. So, and Brighton had a really, really good season as well, qualifying for Europe. So I felt as though he was, merited to be included. In the midfield position, I have Rodri, no-brainer. Has been fantastic since he signed for City, really.
Fantastic for him.
I had John Stones. Now, though John Stones did not play the entire season as the holding mid, I think that adjustment came, let's say, January onwards. But I felt as though he's done so well and been so instrumental to City's chase of Arsenal. I think, he got in for me. On the right side, I went with Saka, who I felt was one of the bright spots in Arsenal's attack. So he got a nod from me. On the left, I had Bernardo, just because I like Bernardo and I cannot leave him out, to be honest. He's been very exceptional player.
Yeah.
So, I had De Bruyne as well as my attacking mid in number 10 position. You said it was an easy pick. I wouldn't say it was an easy pick. It was a toss-up between him and Odegaard for me. Because I felt as though in the first half of the season, De Bruyne wasn't his usual self either.
True.
So that it wasn't but I gave him a nod. And then I had Haaland, obviously, as my number 9. In terms of subs, I had Ramsdale. I felt he made the odd mistake, yes. But I felt he had a relatively good season for Arsenal. I don't care how much Golden Gloves De Gea win. De Gea, I have no faith in De Gea. I don't think he is a high quality goalkeeper anymore. So, and I personally don't think Man U can get to where they want to be with him between the sticks. Like you said, he made a lot of mistakes, and his Golden Glove award was down to what was in front of him.
Yeah,
because definitely people like Luke Shaw, Varane, Lisandro Martinez, for example, Dalot, did quite well. Casemiro made a huge difference to Man U's defensive record.
I agree with you.
So, yeah, the guy get the gloves, but he ain't getting my team.
Fair enough.
Akanji, really, really solid.
Very good season.
Nifa Ake, really, really solid as well. Starting to look a proper centre back or left back, whichever way you want to put it. Odegaard, like I said. I also have Martinelli, Harry Kane. Like you said, really, really good season in a poor Tottenham side. Going back to Martinelli and Odegaard, like I said, because City's foreign are so good, that kind of like deny them the opportunity to get in the team. And lastly, I had Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle as on my bench. That's a good show. Because they think that he was quite pivotal to Newcastle's top 4 push as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think some honorable mentions for me too would be, of course, Bernardo. I think I actually forgot about Bernardo Silva, and that's a shame on me because he's been brilliant for City this season. Newcastle centre back Botman really gone under the radar, but it's been really good for them too. Have players like Isak. You can't really consider Isak because he was injured so much, but had such a great impact on Newcastle. Rashford had a very good season for Manchester United.
That is true.
So it's hard. It's hard when you pick a team this season because there's so many outstanding performers. But yeah,
I remember you had Gundogan on your bench as well.
Yeah.
And again, I could have put him on my bench too.
Yeah,
because he had a pretty good season as well.
Yeah,
especially in the home stretch.
For sure. So yeah, and people like McAllister, new Liverpool player, he had a very good season for Brighton, I felt as well. So it's tough when you're picking these, but somebody gotta sit down, right? Yeah. So I don't have any qualms with any of your picks. I think that's a pretty solid side. Who would beat who though?
Call your team again.
Alisson. Alisson versus Edison.
Alisson. I would go with Alisson. If I'm I think Alisson is merited in the team, but if I talk about just straight up who's a better goalkeeper, I will go with Alisson. Right, so I'll give Alisson out.
Trippier, Ben White.
I'll go with Trippier too. He's an archer right back. You know what I mean? Ben White would just
and Ben White kind of stumbled coming onto the real pressure games as well. Shaw and Estupinian. Estupinian had a really good season for real.
I will go to Brandon. Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, very, very good player. I would actually probably agree with you with Saliba over Martinez. But as I said, I had so many people there for real. But yeah, I would probably go Saliba over Martinez. Okay. Rodri Rice, Rodri Stones. Tough midfield.
Yeah, tough.
I still think I'll win the midfield battle.
Okay.
Our forward lines are basically identical except for right wing. So our teams are actually very similar. Yeah.
Okay, and did you have so let's get into our war segment.
Yeah.
So we'll start with manager of the year. So I'll go first.
You do that.
And call me predictable.
Of course you are.
I like to give Jack his jacket.
Give Jack that jacket.
Unlike certain people.
You could give Jack that jacket.
No problem. My manager of the year is obviously Pep Guardiola. I take no pleasure in saying that. But treble winner. Third straight Premier League crown. I cannot look past those things. So, and let's be real. I think City are the best team in the country. So, I think he is the best. I think he's the best manager.
It's not a bad shout. But what you will find from my awards is that my awards go against the grain.
Okay, that's no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
You know me, I like to be controversial.
Sure.
So my manager of the season is actually Roberto De Zerbi.
Ooh.
I think that taking over Brighton after they lost Potter, who built up Brighton to be a team that could challenge for Europe, to really make that seamless transition and have Brighton continue at that level and maybe even play better with no preseason, no players he signed, just came in. It was just a seamless transition. He had Brighton playing like a top dog. So I think given what he had to deal with compared to other managers, not he had to deal with a lot, I just mean the fact that most of the other managers that you would consider for this, maybe Ten Hag, Pep, as you said, Arteta, they all had preseason. They all had their own signings time to build their squad. He did not. But he got this team continue to play at a level that, really challenged the big boys. So I was really impressed with him. The knee slide at Arsenal was a cute moment. You saw that?
Don't remember that.
When they beat Arsenal at the Emirates. Mal was on his knees, fist pumping. That was kind of riled up some Arsenal fans. But yeah, I think he's my manager this season.
Good choice. I know you said seamless transition, and I guess it is in the sense that he wouldn't have worked with the squad before coming through the door, but from what I would have been told about his appointment, I think the Brighton board usually does a very good job in terms of player recruitment and also managerial appointments.
Even though we carry all the recruitment team, they're still doing a good job.
And I heard that De Zerbi basically he was just like a continuation of what Potter was trying to do. So it was like they were very smart in that sense. So what they did, it wasn't like they were bringing someone who plays a complete different style.
Right.
To Potter and put him in there. But yeah, good choice. Yeah,
yours was too. I mean, treble winner.
Mine is the only
3.
choice. Well, not only choice. It's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
I feel like everything, because they think, like you said, come up with nowhere to do these things, but at the same time, I don't know. Unless somebody get a 25-point deduction and somebody keep them up. I don't know what a Magic could have done with his team this year to trump or be compared to what Pep did.
I understand you.
Granted, Pep has a lot of resources that other managers don't
exactly.
have. But yeah. All right, so next is player of the year. All right, you can go for this one.
I think we both have the same player, Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland.
Yeah, easy choice. I remember, oh gosh, I remember my awful take at the beginning of the season when it was like, I felt, I'm so embarrassed.
That you want to stay at City?
I felt that Phillips was a more key signing than Haaland.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, boy. And I was like, when they said that Phillips should not have gone to City in a workout year, but nobody listens to me. But anyhow, that was probably one of the worst takes I've ever had in my life. But I know why I said what I said. But and I think, to be honest, you did see City struggle a bit at the beginning of the season. And that's natural when they never used to really play with a number 9 like Haaland before. But I didn't think he was going to be successful. I just think his goals, you could get his goals anywhere throughout the squad. But I think because of him, City went out a level, to be honest. Because you still got your goals from midfield. You still got your goals from the Mahrezes, the Fodens, the Grealishes. But his goals, 30, how much it was? 38? I can't remember. The Premier League record for goals in his first season, new league, no adaptation needed. It's been brilliant for City. Absolutely brilliant. And I think, obviously I would have seen bits of him when he was at Dortmund. But I think watching him more, he's so much more than just a big burly striker. Has pace. He could pass a ball. I still remember how he set up De Bruyne for that goal against Arsenal at the Etihad. Just staying strong, playing through De Bruyne. He's an immensely talented footballer, and I think I don't want to throw water on City Parade, but with Real Madrid having a striker shortage, one of my thoughts was, is Real Madrid going to sign maybe a stopgap till they go for Haaland in 2-3 years? So, that's just my thought. Interesting.
But honestly, best player in the Prem by a mile, for sure.
I have a slightly different take on Haaland's season than you did. Because, for me, I was never worried about goals. And I know, City always score a high number of goals. And they tend to get their goals from, different positions and stuff like that. But remember I said, Haaland's going to get goals. The team already has goals in it. The difference that Haaland's going to make. Because, for example, remember when we talked about Brazil in the World Cup and they said to you that Brazil lacked a true gem in number 9? Because it's okay to got goal scorers or chance creators in the team. But there are moments that are crucial or games which can be tight. And, and you really need a pure striker, a pure goal getter to bury a chance for you. And I felt as though that's where Haaland would come in.
Yeah.
Because City always had goals, but at the same time, You didn't get the rubber green against Real Madrid last year in Champions League. And if you go against Tottenham, So I felt as where Haaland would come in. And I felt as though there was an adjustment at the start of the season. Because, like, I didn't think he hit the... I think that him and City needed time to adjust to each other and get used to each other.
Because even though he was scoring goals, City wasn't playing that well.
It's a case where City had to get accustomed to what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And how do we get a gel and come together? So there were still creating chances. He would still get chances and buy goals. Because, like I said, he doesn't need 3 and 4 to score 1. But it was a case where, like you said, it wasn't as nice on the eye. It wasn't as fluent. But what he gave City was that he gave City the option to mix it up. Yeah. So we can still play our fluent football and create a chance for him. Or we can go a bit direct. Yeah. And, like you said, again, obviously that really came to the fore.
For sure.
I remember the goal against Arsenal too. And it's nothing I've never seen before, but again, it's just that, a direct ball up front to him and he's strong. Flick it on. You said that you talked about his game and he's not just a big British striker. I don't know. I would say he's just a big British striker either. He has good movement. He's
quick.
He's quick, yeah. But when you say big British striker, you mean I do expect him to be slow? I expect him to be quick.
Like a Weghorst. Because he big.
Okay, fair enough.
And he has no pace.
Oh, fair enough. Haaland's quick. Haaland's big and tall and strong.
Skillful.
So he suits the prem.
He has a very good all-round game is what I mean.
Skillful. There are elements of his technique that can improve. Like, how he controls the ball and takes spaces and stuff like that. I think the passing can improve too. But yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement. The ceiling is very, very high. Not sure what on you parade. I don't know about Real Madrid signing him. I mean, it could happen, but I'm not sure.
You see.
I'm not sure.
Do you really see him stay at City for 10 years?
Not for 10, but who is no 22?
Young. Wrong there.
About 22, yeah. I can't see staying at City for 10, but at the same time, I do see his best years at City. So I mean that I see him at City at least to 30, at least 20, 30. Unless some catastrophe happens and Pep leaves and then City are not able to replicate the success.
Because remember, they still have 115 charges hanging over them. Yeah, we don't know the consequences that will have. True. So, although I don't think that happen.
Listen, City fans, don't mind Marissa. When innocent until proven guilty.
Sure.
Try to bring a dark cloud over your head just after you all won the treble. Yeah, look. Anyhow, so that's our player of the year. Let's go to young player of the year. I'm going to be very brief. I picked the same person again because I felt, he's eligible. And whilst there were some other good young players, I'm sure going to mention a couple in a moment or two. I felt like, justified. Justified. So I went back with Haaland.
I went a different route. I don't like when players win multiple awards because it's not to say they don't deserve it. I just think that you should. Anyways,
you want to add a bit of variety.
Yes,
but let me tell you something, right? If you read an A+ paper, I shot read an A+ paper, and I read an A+ paper, I Tom from across the street read an A+ paper. Don't tell me that if we get awards and you just happen to rate the best of all of us, don't tell me that you should get all, just because you want to add a bit of variety. It's about merit.
I understand. That's a good analogy. I understand. Typical teacher analogy, but I understand. It's a good point. But for it's my award, so I could do whatever I want.
Sure, that's true.
So for my young places, I went with Martin Odegaard. I felt that captaining Arsenal to probably their first title run for a decade. Young player, goals and assists, leadership. Yes, he kind of went a little bit missing, as did most of the Arsenal squad coming on the end. But to me, he had a fantastic season. As I said, goals, assists, leadership, title charge. Yeah.
I wouldn't say he went missing, though. I think he made mistakes as a result of the
Fair enough. It's true. Yeah, that's a bad way of putting it. Yeah.
But he did come up trumps them in some big moments as well. But then
for sure.
Yeah, against better teams.
For sure.
In the gritty. When the pressure mounted, you know, he made mistakes just like everybody. Because you talk about leadership. I know he has the armband. Not sure why. Because that would have been that was a surprise appointment for me.
Me too.
Honest. So when they say not sure why, I don't mean as in like he can't be a captain, but just I was surprised at timing of him getting the armband. I felt as though Arsenal had other players that they could have bestowed that honor upon. The person that I really point the finger at in Arsenal's collapse, I told you before, is the centre back Gabriel, because I felt as though he was the stalwart of the defense. Although Saliba is the one everybody's looking at, he's the most experienced and he's the one that then should really hold it together.
Yeah,
him, people like Granit Xhaka, so on and so forth. But Odegaard, I like him, so I have no argument with you giving him the Young Player of the Year award.
Okay, best signing for you?
Erling Haaland.
Variety is a spice of life, okay?
Erling Haaland. No?
Man City just dominating these awards for you.
And they should.
Fair enough.
Listen,
fair enough.
I feel like it would be a disservice. Because he has been the signing this season. He has been a young player. In terms of who's been eligible for that award, he has been the Young Player of the Year. And he has been the Player of the Year.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. But of course I went for variety.
Right, sure.
It may surprise you.
I'm probably sure it will.
So my signing of the season was Casemiro. I went with Casemiro because I feel without him, Manchester United would not have gone top four. I think he completely transformed Manchester United, because if they had to go through the season with McTominay and Fred only, I think, and Eriksen, of course, and Bruno, I personally think that they would not have made top four. I think, yes, he got a couple red cards, but I think his leadership, his quality, completely transformed that side, in my opinion. So that's why I think, for a side that had like one of the most transformative impacts on the side, I think it was Casemiro. Yeah.
Nothing to add.
Okay.
Nothing to add. What's the next category?
Worst signing.
Okay.
Man, you could have picked anything for this. Let me hear what you went with.
Well, at first I was gonna leave it out, sorry, because
not so much.
I didn't know who
pick
to pick.
one.
Yeah, I didn't know who to pick. But I found one.
Let me hear.
For this particular category.
Another Man City player?
Yeah.
Wow.
It really is. I picked Calvin Phillips. Big money move from Leeds. Yorkshire Pirlo. That was his name, right? Big money move, you know. And he didn't kick a ball in aggression, man. So
He's celebrating that treble hard, though.
Well, he could do as late. But I mean, you think about the fact that John Stones has been able to step into midfield in such a commanding way.
Yeah.
And he's on the bench, warming it. You know, I mean, okay, the reason he's there is not, I don't think he's a bad player. It's just that he hasn't made the impact that others would have expected. I say others because I argue with certain people on the show that Calvin Phillips and the City I can't get a team. And they tell me that I think he's an important signing, blah, blah. Like, I know. I've seen him play, and I was never concerned, or I never got a sense that he was going to challenge these, the established players in the lineup for a starting berth. I didn't see him as a signing that improved the side. It was more or less like a contingency plan in case we get injuries.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think worst signing could have been anybody. Could have been Richarlison. Could have been Bissouma. Could have been Cucurella.
You're doing this for purpose.
Could have been anybody.
I want people to know, right? You're doing this you are doing this for a purpose.
What am I doing? What am I doing, Andrew? Tell people what I'm doing.
Because you're calling names. Listen to candidates for this, unfortunate award. So you can single out somebody and ridicule them.
I just sat in the stage.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it could have been anybody. It could have been any of Chelsea's million signings. It could have been anybody. But ultimately, I went for Jesse Lingard as my worst signing of the season. 17 appearances for Nottingham Forest, 200,000 a week, a million other TikToks and all sorts of stuff, and 0 goals, 0 assists, nada.
And it's been released.
And it's being released from a team that was battling relegation, and Nottingham Forest was battling relegation until the penultimate day of the season. Jesse Lingard did not start. Jesse Lingard, quality Man United Academy player Jesse Lingard, quality England player Jesse Lingard, could not even get in Nottingham Forest starting 11 in the middle of a relegation battle. Definitely the worst sign of the season.
I feel like I've been critical of Jesse Lingard enough over the years. So I'm going to allow you to have that one.
Oh, gosh.
I have nothing to say about Jesse Lingard. If you want to hear my thoughts, you go back to start for our podcast, adventure.
Yeah,
and you will hear me, talk a lot of rubbish about Jesse Lingard and his potential so-called talent or skill.
Jesse boy.
I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I never really thought highly of Jesse Lingard. Another way it's called purple patch player. Get the all little goal for you here and there.
Yeah.
People start to croak for murder and talk about he got game intelligence and he's not the biggest, but he's like, please. Anyhow.
Where to next though?
Where to next? Championship. That where you should go. No, hopefully not maybe Level Luton. Hopefully not maybe Level Luton.
I'll tell you.
But a championship, maybe League One. But or maybe some sort of like I'm a celebrity get milk here sort of show. Who knows? But yeah, Jesse Lingard. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's shameful because it's probably the wrong thing to say, but I can say it anyway, just because of Jesse Lingard. Real talk. Like, I almost feel like you went nothing for a paycheck and couldn't really be bothered about the fortunes of the team.
But we did call that though.
Yeah.
I think he could have easily gone to West Ham.
Gone back to West Ham.
Easily. A team he played for, a team he had a connection with the fans for, but literally only went to Forest for more money. I would never understand it. And he looked a player reborn. He even got a recall to the England side at West Ham.
Almost getting the team for
it's
the
just
World
like when they look at players like him and Dele Alli and all them players that were so hyped up back then, it's like attitude is a real issue for sports people. If you don't have the right attitude, it doesn't matter how much talent in the world you got. But anyways, those are our words. Before we close, let's just do some quick cricket hits. West Indies won their series against the UAE 3-0.
Whoopee.
Have their first World Cup qualifier Sunday morning, 3 a.m. versus the USA.
Barbados? I will get up and watch that.
Oh, congrats.
I will get up and watch the West Indies against America.
You do that.
A team that don't... I guess their cricket players are probably people from Caribbean Heritage, right? Or something?
I'm not sure, but I know a couple of their players play in CPL sometimes.
Okay. I will get up and watch.
You good. You do that.
West Indies.
But those qualifiers are important because I think it's the first 3 in each group go forward to the Super Sixes and you take forward those points. So, for instance, if we beat USA on Sunday and USA also qualifies, we take forward the 3 points we beat USA with. So, it's really important that you just win all your games, really, no matter who you're against. So, that's them. You had the World Test Championship final over the weekend.
Before we go to the World Test Championship, though, I don't feel like you should gloss over West Indies like that. Talking about that as them. I'm pretty sure if anybody would have watched the series against UAE, it was you. I'm sure you glimpsed at it here and there.
Of course.
So tell us, Marissa, are you still worried about the qualification hopes? Talk to me. What's that way you don't want to get up at 3 o'clock and watch them against America?
Why don't I gotta get in the morning early for church anyways? So why would I get at 3?
I ain't get up. I'm not get up. Is it 50 again, right?
Yeah.
I'm not get up.
Exactly.
I usually gym for the morning, so
okay.
Usually.
So by the time I get up, first innings will be finishing. So
yeah, about 5. I'll see a little something. But
West Indies bowling is just a serious area of concern for me, to be honest.
I think the batting is a serious. I'm not confident in batting either.
I'm more confident in batting than bowling. Legitimately.
I don't like that. Well, sorry. Like I said before, I don't like the fact that I think it still is the case. I don't like the fact that we have to rely on one or two players to get runs. Because God forbid to fail. I don't know. I just don't expect in the modern game what we would call or what we would consider impressive scores coming from our batsmen. So I think don't qualify is going to be a struggle. But you know what? Darren Sammy at the helm. Darren Sammy at the wheel.
Honestly, I can see us making 300, but can we defend it is my issue. We don't have enough wicket takers in that side for me. And like you said, if God forbid we don't make the 300 scores, I don't know. I just, like I said,
is it in general?
Yeah, we commit 300. I really believe we can, but look, I just going in this with the expectation that we are not going to qualify for the World Cup, and we will come and do our post-mortem.
It's America. Who else we got to play?
We got to play, I can't remember who, I think it's Zimbabwe in our group. Zimbabwe is probably the toughest compared to our group. Right. But still, remember, we have to come in the top 2 to qualify. Right. At the end of everything.
We can qualify.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. But I say that about Western, so
All right. You have more confidence now. I do for
that
sure.
Confidence, not just like, nepotism in a sense.
All right.
I believe that Western should be at a national tournament. You know.
All right.
The fact we have to qualify, it's really shameful, but nevertheless, we'll qualify.
Anyways, Valley only West Indies as usual.
Right. I'm worried. So I'm going into the tournament with the expectancy that we'll be there.
All right.
But since you're the expert on this matter, maybe you're right. But I
have no expectations, and you'll never be disappointed.
I'm still going to adopt the approach that we'll be there.
Good for you.
Yes, good for me. I'm more worried about what we do once the tournament gets on the way. That's where I'm concerned. That's where I don't see the 300, unless it's a fellow minnow team or what's not. I don't see 300 scores coming to fruition as you suggested. But you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe they won't qualify, and then that'll just be academic.
Gosh, imagine West Indies not at a World Cup. I never want to think about it, but might have to. Anyways, World Test Championship final. Australia are the World Test champions of the world. Ran out convincing winners against India. Match was probably lost on the first innings. But Australia worthy winners. Good warm up for the Ashes that start on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to these Ashes because everybody want to see how Bazball does against Australia, the new World Test champions. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it will probably be a really good Ashes. In recent years, I have genuinely preferred the women's Ashes because it's more competitive. But I think this men's Ashes will be competitive as well.
Yeah, there seem to be similarly balanced lineups at this point in time.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a very close affair. I can't recall it either.
Yeah.
What I would say, I know Australia are the World Test champions, but in my mind, champions are what? A one-off game in a test match. Test matches are played over series, right? So until ICC met the World Test Championship, you agree with me or not?
I agree.
Until the ICC made the World Test Championship a 3-match series at the very least. And if you're talking about 2 best test teams in the world, it should really be 5. Just saying. Until they do that, I feel like the World Test Championship, like, you know what I mean? Like, because that could be a win. That's not, like, what you're trying to say is a one-off game in a test match. But test matches are not really contested over one-off games. So then it's always a question mark, like, because it's very possible that India could have win the rest of the series had it been an actual series. Mind the
I know you're gonna hit that at some point, you know.
Well, fair enough. Mind that. So my apologies, but yes. So I feel like I know how much credit I could really give Australia, or the world could really give Australia, but you just made a one-off test. I feel like for a World Test Championship, I thought they were serious when they introduced the competition or the idea of the competition a few years back about making an actual series. Yeah, I know the calendars are already jumbled up and congested.
And that's why it's not going to happen. Too much cricket playing. But it should. It should happen.
It should, yeah.
Because literally you have to win series to get to that point.
Exactly.
But it's not going to happen.
And it could be a simple case where, based on how the defenders played or the pitch, who win the toss,
exactly.
Just be
exactly.
We know test match cricket goes.
Well, the Prince of Port of Spain, you know who I mean, right?
Correct.
Tweeted that he thinks the World Test Championship does not always have to be played in England, which I agree.
I agree.
He thinks that it should be played in Barbados next time.
Good.
I'll be there though.
I'll be there too.
Because honestly, I think Test cricket is still very much one of my favorite formats. I think when you have two high quality Test teams, Test cricket is a fantastic format. It tests your skills. It tests mental fortitude. I love Test cricket. So if a World Test Championship final had to be played in Barbados, I will go.
Yeah.
Probably can't go to all 5 days, but I will go to at least 2.
Yeah, we will be there. No, who will not be there? The West Indies, but we'll be there. You know, we will be there if it was to arrive.
Anyways,
Forgive me for trolling.
Anyways.
Yes.
So that brings us to not only the end of this episode, but the end of our first season of the Dugout. It's been at times it's been a wonderful ride.
Mm-hmm.
At times a very painful ride.
Mm-hmm.
But we've made it. We have made it. Our teams have had not great seasons, especially the team in blue. But all we could do is look forward to better things to come. Or not. Who knows? But it's been a great season. We thank you, all of you who watch, who subscribe, for watching us, for supporting us. Next season, hopefully we come back bigger and better. We want to thank our sponsors, Whole Health Pharmacy, who we forget to put the ad in again. But we'll be better, as I said, bigger and better next season. Spirit Light Studios, who do a wonderful job for us every week. You can follow us, the Dugout _podcast, Marissa Simone 91, June 9106. Oh, Andrew's birthday was on Sunday. We didn't even mention that last week.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He's finally joined the club.
Thank you so much.
So,
you know, I don't take a deep breath. Just know that she can say my
the
age.
thing is, right, I almost did, but then I realized, oh crap, we're the same age, which means people would know. So, yeah, I had to say club. Yeah. So he had a great birthday. I had a great birthday. Shaq's birthday as well was the week after mine. We didn't even mention that.
That's true.
Yeah, terrible people. Terrible people weren't ready, you know.
We're better not sure.
But it's so cool, you know, doing this. I must say it's been really good doing this podcast with, I would say, 2 of my best guy friends. It's so cool that we also kind of only born like a month apart from each other. It's almost like fate and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, might shed a little tear.
Whoa.
But anyways, it's been great. Any parting words?
Yes. Like Marissa said, it's been a great experience. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Sorry that you all cannot have witnessed, you know, the off-camera arguments, but
No, I'm glad. I'm glad y'all didn't witness the off-camera arguments.
Somebody here pulling, but
no hair pulling.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, my own hair, not talking about yours, or
What
maybe
hair?
maybe it's pull your own.
Oh, no.
My hair just got cut, you know, cut because of birthday, you know.
Okay.
It's normally a little bit more
Mm.
thicker than this,
Okay.
I suppose.
I can't say that I noticed, but okay. I'll take your word for it.
I just don't hang drunk. Anyway, it has been a good experience, you know. Hopefully, like Marissa said, next season we're back bigger and better. Yeah. So look forward to you guys, you know, continue to watch us and support us as we go forward.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for joining us and see you next time.